threats,
Mr. Cant, Mr. Cant.
Don't push your luck with me.
anger,
Don't,
We
sir,
are people.
don't.
desperation.
I'm going to calm it back. I'm going to calm it back.
What happens when debt
I know my rights. Do not touch me again.
tracks you down?
I'm not even paying a penny of it.
Up and down the UK,
Nobody have that kind of cash.
we see Britain's most resilient High Court enforcement agents
Can't believe that's been in it.
dealing with every debtor's worst nightmare.
It's my daughter's birthday today.
Because if you can't pay,
I really don't have any money to make payment.
they'll take it away. Research has shown that late payments pose a major problem for small and medium-sized businesses. Nearly 1 in 3 payments to small companies are late, and this is estimated to cost the UK economy £2.5 billion a year. High Court enforcement agents Max Caraher and Steve Pinner are in southwest London to collect a debt of almost £2,000 owed by cafe owner Waleed Adamu.
Okay, Max, we're now approaching Tooting. Where are we off to?
We're off to see Mr. Waleed Adamu.
Mr. Adamu owes the money to a bakery goods supplier whom he failed to pay.
That's it, Broadway Cafe. Yep.
Is that space down?
I don't know.
The claimant escalated the case to the High Court, and now Mr. Adamu must pay in full today.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Are you Waleed?
No, I'm not Waleed.
I'm here to speak to Waleed Adamu.
It's not here Waleed anymore. That's my ID here.
The man shows Max a credit card. It's not in Mr. Adamu's name, but Max and Steve need to make further enquiries.
Oh, you're a guardian.
My name's Max Caraher.
Yeah,
My
nice
colleague
to meet
Steve
you.
Pinner. We're enforcement agents. We've been sent here with a High Court writ, sir.
You're looking for Waleed.
Yes, we
Waleed
are.
is not here anymore.
Did he used to own the business?
Yeah,
and-
yeah, it's not anymore.
So who are you, sir? Are you the boss of the new
No,
business?
no, because I'm helping on the shop. That's what I'm doing.
You're just a chef
Yeah,
here.
boss is not here.
Who operates from here?
There is someone who's not here.
But we can solve all this if perhaps we get the boss on the phone.
I don't know. So leave me the what there is.
Who, you don't know the boss? Who pays your wages?
Me, I'm helping here. I'm not working here.
The problem we have is that until we see photographic ID of who owns it or who
Yeah,
rents it,
alright.
with no disrespect to you,
Yeah, yeah.
I could give you my credit card and you could show me.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's fine.
But Max is sceptical of the man's claims and starts a search of the premises.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look around the till. Sorry. Waleed Adamu trading as the Broadway Kitchen, which is where we are. They can't get us in touch with him.
The pile of letters on the counter are all addressed to the debtor.
My friend, who do you call if there's a problem here? You don't know?
You must have an emergency contact. You must.
No, no, no.
But then another man arrives at the cafe.
Hiya,
Hi there, Mr.
Waleed Adamu.
Hello?
Nice to meet you, sir.
The man is the debtor, and he wants answers.
What's the problem now?
We need to collect £1,909.
No,
You choose, sir. You either pay for it or we
I don't
enforce
pay
the
for
writ.
it.
Then we remove goods.
We'll do it. You're not scaring me.
I'm not scaring
I'm
you, I'm
telling you
just
something
stating a
because I
fact.
know on my right.
Okay.
The
Yes.
business is somebody else's name.
Okay.
You're not allowed to take anything. All this money, believe me, I'm not going to pay a penny.
Why is that? I know because you're
no man,
arguing.
listen to me,
No,
because
I'm not,
there
you're
is
gonna
no
shout at
person.
me. You're gonna
Listen,
shout at
because
me.
you try to explain to you.
Okay,
You're not
explain without
chasing me
shouting.
up. Or you're going to put the knife on my neck to pay the money which is not mine.
Okay, well
You
it is.
understand
The High
that?
Court have decided it is yours. to pay.
Whatever it is, I will go to the court. I will do respect the court, but the reason I wasn't in the court.
If you respect the court,
That's the problem.
You
Yes.
pay it.
What do you mean?
The High Court commanded you to pay it.
You affect my business today big time.
You've affected
you know what I mean?
your
You
own
come
business,
in here,
sir.
you're making a scene. It doesn't work like this.
But
you
when
know
there's
what I mean?
contractors here removing goods, it will cause more
Listen,
problems.
this is not the way you behave with the people. You come
Okay.
into the premises and you come in like I would remove your goods. Why are you going to remove my goods for?
Why?
Well, yes.
You've just said they're your goods.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't your goods.
It's my business, yes.
After claiming the business wasn't his, Mr. Adamu has changed his story.
Well,
Seriously, you got in my nerves.
Well,
Because the way you're dealing with me, I don't like it. You know
Are you
what I
going to pay it and then we'll leave?
Listen to me.
Yes.
Could you just get out from the bar there and come back this side?
With no payment looking likely, Max and Steve start an inventory of seizable goods. But Mr. Adamu isn't calming down.
Why you are like making me wind up? Because you're telling me
Try not to.
that you're gonna move the goods and all these things.
That
That's
is-
not the way you behave with the people. You're gonna remove all the goods here.
Yeah.
Because
And that's worth bloody £20,000. You're taking a piece of me.
It won't be worth 20 grand at auction. I'm telling you, sir, unfortunately, we
That's how
have to
we have to
remove if we don't get any payment. We have to.
Don't
Is
go
it-
like pushing,
Is it-
alright?
So just
He is a good in his job,
Okay,
but the
yeah.
way you're talking, you
Yes.
wind up with people because we're already in the problem here. You
Sir,
understand?
you got to pay it.
You've been silly.
I'm not being silly.
Here you go.
Oh.
When you finish, you close the door. There you go.
that was a different
Sir,
one.
we
Take
can't
bloody
take.
fucking kids. You're
We
not gonna
can't
scare
take
me.
it.
Listen.
I'm
You're
not
gonna
trying to scare
me.
you at
You're
all.
not gonna scare me.
How am I trying to
Close
scare you?
fucking shop now.
Don't swear
and
at
take
me.
all the fucking
Don't
goods.
swear at me.
Go it. Listen, no one's gonna make me pressure on the bloody.
Don't
fucking
swear at me.
I swear in my property. Don't fucking go like, you know, pushing me. If you're a man, fucking clear it now. Fucking clear it now.
Please.
This simple job has turned into a highly charged standoff.
You're not gonna scare me, believe me.
With Mr. Adamu refusing to calm down, the agents will have to act fast to stop this case from spiralling out of control. Max Caraher and Steve Pinner were in southwest London to recover nearly £2,000 owed by a cafe owner.
Who operates from here?
The man they first met denied the debtor, Mr. Adamu, still owned the cafe.
Yes, we are.
It's not here anymore.
But then Mr. Adamu arrived.
Hi there, Mr.
Walid Adamov.
He said he couldn't pay.
I'm not gonna pay a penny.
But as Max started listing assets, Mr. Adamu began to lose his temper.
Listen, no one's gonna make me pressure. If you're a man, fucking clear it now.
Now, the agents have to try and get this case back on track. But Mr. Adamu is still angry.
I came into this country with £2 in my pocket, do you understand? Just put it in your head.
Okay.
And no one fucking make me pressure to make a loan. I don't do loan.
Sir, you need
I
to
cash
take
in
a
my
deep
pocket.
breath.
That's what I'm paying.
Sir,
Do you
chill out.
understand?
You're not listening, okay?
I'm not
You're not
listening
listening.
to you. Clear it.
Wow. He doesn't like you. Oh, not a good day.
With the debtor now gone, the agents have no choice but to remove assets in his absence, adding further fees to the debt. But as the equipment would fetch a fraction of its worth at auction, Max and Steve will have to clear a substantial amount of goods to cover the money owing. Max calls the office to get the client's approval to begin the process.
Hi, Alison. It's all kicking off down here. This defendant has refused to pay. Could you speak to the client? They've got two choices, either removal of the assets that are here, or they aren't going to get anything. Cheers, bye.
But then, Mr. Adamu returns.
The business worth £100,000. For £1,900, you're gonna shut my business.
2,500.
That's
It's gone up.
Pizza oven
Yes.
costs £2,000.
Okay, at
Yes.
auction it won't cost £2,000.
How much are you gonna cost? £1?
No idea.
How much?
I don't.
We don't
Show me
know.
the auctions then. I'm gonna buy all equipment from there.
You can go to the auction.
Yeah, show me.
Do me a favour.
Yes.
Don't shout at me and get okay.
I shout. Is there a problem for you?
It is.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
I don't
listen.
care. If you
I'm
don't
just
like
gonna-
it, move.
No, we've got to take the goods. Okay, you'll lose them because of your stubbornness.
You
I
are a
don't-
geezer, you know the tricks, you know what I mean? You're tricky, you know
I'm
what I mean?
tricky.
You're a street boy, you know what I mean?
I'm a street
You
boy.
like, you know
No,
the tricks, you
I'm
know what I
not
mean?
a
You play
street
with
boy.
me.
I'm not playing with you.
Don't
Like
take in a
anything.
piss.
I'm not taking
Alright?
a piss out of you.
Well,
Because the way you're
Well,
talking, you're telling me that it's fucking worth like £1. That oven, yeah, in auction. How much
you're
worth? How much?
No idea. It's
You
going.
live in the UK, come on,
This
come
is
on.
going.
Waleed.
Come on,
calm
you
down.
know the prices. How much that?
No idea.
How much?
No idea.
So what are you telling me then it's not worth in £20,000?
I'm telling you that it's not worth £2,000 at all.
What do you mean?
I'm not going to speak about this further because you won't listen. Okay?
While Max continues making the inventory, Steve tries to reason with Mr. Adamu.
We need to calm you down a little bit.
He wind me up, that guy,
Okay,
believe me.
deal with me. Okay.
Sir, I do respect you as my father. You're not that old, but I'm trying to explain.
I am.
Listen, I've been through the divorce,
Okay.
all right? I lost my house already, all right? I pay a lot of money. I got a kid to look after. I can't go to the edge to beg people. I'm a good person. I'm paying the rate. I'm paying.
I'll tell you
things,
what,
brother.
for a good person, you're really, really loud.
I'm very loud.
You are.
I am loud.
I think the age difference of Steve and myself can really benefit a situation that is spiralling out of control. Because Steve is a few years older than me, people could perhaps talk to him as the fatherly figure.
With Mr. Adamu calmer, he makes the agents a surprising offer.
I've said
I'll
no.
give you my watch,
No,
Rolex.
no.
£7,000.
Oh, is it a real Rolex?
Take it. Well, that's not fake.
It is fake.
Believe me, no, brother. You want to go get documents for that?
It's fake.
It's not.
It is definitely
Believe me,
fake.
it's not.
It's fake.
You two, are never going to get
How
on.
do you know it's fake?
I've seized lots of real Rolexes in my career.
The agents can't accept the watch, but it's now 20 minutes since Max called for permission from the claimant to remove goods. And with afternoon rush hour traffic building up, Max is concerned that organising a specialist removal of heavy kitchen equipment now may prove difficult. He speaks to the office.
We will need a gas engineer
And an electrician.
and an electrician. Would need a lot of contractors if they want everything.
The office offer a solution.
Just take the coffee machine. Sure. Thanks, Alison. Bye.
However, there's a problem.
That's not mine.
If it's leased, we won't be removing it.
Mr. Adamu gets the leasing company on the phone.
Hello?
It's Capital Coffee here. The
Yep.
espresso machine, the grinder, belongs to us. He rents it from us.
Okay, can you just confirm what it actually is?
It's an espresso barista espresso machine. The grinder is at an F64. It's
You're
a
correct.
example.
Yeah, you know what? That's good enough for me. You've confirmed exactly what models they are on site.
Okay.
That's absolutely fine for me.
With the coffee machine out of bounds, the agents are running out of options. All they can do now is to give Mr. Adamu some extra time to come up with the money.
No good news yet. This is the control goods agreement. Sign it.
We agree.
The control goods agreement lists all the seizable assets in the cafe. Now, if Mr. Adamu doesn't pay the money he owes within the time agreed, all the items listed will be seized.
Deal.
Okay.
Deal. You guys are.
The case is resolved for now. But if Mr. Adamu breaks his promise, the agents will be back.
$1 million question. Do you think that defendant is going to make the payment as promised?
I think he will.
Yeah.
It's not 100%, and if I'm wrong, I accept that I'm wrong.
Would you like to put a sportsman's bet on that?
Don't do betting. But I will buy you a cupcake if I lose.
Fantastic.
And you can buy me dinner if I win.
This year, personal debt in the UK is expected to hit levels not seen since the 2008 financial crash. The total amount owed has increased by nearly £50 billion in the last year and currently stands at over £1.5 trillion. High Court enforcement agents Matt Highway and Gary Ball are on their way to Redditch in the West Midlands. They have a writ to recover a debt of just over £1,700 owed by an accountant to a dissatisfied former client.
Where are we off to? We're going to see Mrs. Sandra Kanzi. She owes £1,745.08.
Mrs. Kanzi's former client hired a new accountant who advised that sections of Mrs. Kanzi's work needed redoing.
Lovely views, aren't they?
The ex-client took Mrs. Kanzi to court to recover their costs and won. Now she must pay the money she owes in full today.
Hello, sir. How are you? Can I speak to Mrs. Sandra Kanzi, please? Is she not? Could you give her a call for me?
What's it to do with?
My name's Matthew Highway, sir. I'm a High Court enforcement agent.
Oh, hello.
Here with a High Court writ today.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps if I can speak to her, we can probably get the matter resolved.
Okay.
The man, Sandra's partner, David, gets her on the phone.
Hello there. My name's Matthew Highway. I'm a High Court enforcement agent.
Yeah.
I'm at your property today with a High Court writ.
Right, okay.
So it's to do with the CCJ that went through court. It's now been escalated to the High Court for enforcement purposes. There's an outstanding balance of £1,745.08 payable.
I can't give you that money today.
Right. Is it okay to disclose the information to this gentleman? Is it your husband, is it?
Of course,
Yeah.
he's my partner.
No worries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I speak to him then?
Yeah,
And
of
then
course.
Just 1 second. Can you not borrow it from somebody? No? Yeah, you come home when you're ready, yeah. Okay, right. I've got a mower you can have.
Right,
Those.
okay.
So we go and have a look at that?
We'd much rather, we can do, but we'd much rather not go through that process.
No, I know, but-
We'd much rather get this resolved.
Sure.
It isn't absolute fortunes.
Trouble is, we've got a big house, but we haven't got lots of...
Right, okay.
Which you'll see.
Let's go and have a look around there
Okay.
while we're waiting.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Whilst they wait for Mrs. Kanzi to return home, the agents go inside to look for assets they could seize if she doesn't pay. But they're in for a surprise.
Well, I've just seen a Christmas tree for a while. In April.
You can see how well organised we are. That telly I have to leave on because that won't turn on. Oh, there's a piano, but that's not worth anything. We got that free. We're not very well organised, I'm afraid. Be careful as you go. There's loads of stuff everywhere.
This is the playroom.
My daughter's 17 today, so...
Right. Any more rooms down here, or?
Yeah, there's a study. You can have a look in there and get that's a bit dishevelled. I say we may finish this house one day.
One day.
How long have you been here?
Quite a while.
Have you?
Yeah. There's not much there, I don't think.
More hoarding.
Yeah.
The large family house is in a state of disarray, and there doesn't appear to be any assets of value worth seizing.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's all right. Just moving the exercise bike out of the way.
Oh, okay. That doesn't work, would you believe?
Now all the agents can do is wait for Mrs. Kanzi's return to see whether she can raise any cash.
I'll make you a cup of tea, but I don't think you deserve it.
All right, okay.
No.
Yes, that's what you think.
Would you like a tea?
I've been nicer to you than anybody else today.
You didn't seem very nice.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. White, no sugar?
White with 1 sugar, please. That's all right.
No, I'm right, thank you.
No, I won't put anything in it, honest.
I'm going to watch you, don't worry.
You know what? Worst things happen at sea.
They do? Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's all right.
Are you not married to Sandra then?
No, 28 years.
You've been together?
Yeah.
Really?
Just never got around to that, have
It's on your to-do list.
I? She's a little bit of an avoider.
Yeah.
She'll see something and think, I'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
And then there it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Unfortunately, we're not able to avoid
No,
it.
I know. I wish you were.
Some people react with craziness, jumping up and down, physical violence, verbal abuse, and some people just haven't got it in them and would much rather deal with it. And it is a much more pleasant experience for us.
40 minutes after she was called, Sandra arrives home.
Hi, Sandra.
Hello.
How are you?
Feeling better?
Yeah, had better days.
I wasn't ignoring this at all,
No.
but I knew that I needed to ring somebody, but I go in and then I just get pushed and pulled all over the place by staff, clients, everybody else. And then of course it doesn't get done as quickly as it should. I'm not a bad person, I haven't done anything wrong.
No one's saying you are, mate. I've not said that at all.
No, it's all right.
People, and I tried to help them. And then they just, it's just ridiculous. It's my daughter's birthday today, so she's upstairs with her boyfriend and I don't even know her. Right, okay.
Do you want a cup of tea? Because you've missed out on the run.
No, I'm fine.
How did the debt arise, Sandra?
I'm an accountant and they were a client and we were doing work for them and she didn't appreciate what we were doing. So I basically said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not prepared to work with you. So they left, went to another accountant. He decided that he was going to change what we had done and he was going to charge them for the privilege of it, and then they decided they were then obviously going to charge me.
And I know you've been here a long time, so you obviously got the correspondence from the county court. Why not fight your case at that point?
It's easy for everyone to say, well, you should have done this and you should have done the other, but when you just don't have enough hours in the day to even sleep almost, it's just impossible.
Despite Sandra's dispute with the claimant, Matt and Gary have to get this case resolved one way or another.
As you're aware, we've got to enforce this High Court writ. At the moment, this writ is £1,745.08.
I know you come here and you think, oh, you know, we've got loads of money and all the rest of it.
I don't think anything.
No, I know.
I don't think anything.
And I'm just saying, no, we haven't, because my business isn't earning me any money. So we get by day to day at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think anything. I'm not making any assumptions at all. I'm just giving you black and white as to what we are here to do.
Sandra's business may be struggling, but Matt has to make it clear that if the case isn't resolved here today, the agents have the right to remove assets from her office.
There are 2 properties named on the High Court writ. One of them's here and one of them's your work address, your business, all right?
Yeah, I know, but then I can't keep my business going, can I?
The agents have been in the house for almost an hour. Now it seems that the prospect of her business being put at risk has finally prompted Sandra to act.
There's £1,400 in my account.
Can't find another...
£345.
The dog's worth a few quid.
No, can't take dogs.
When you've got crappy credit...
Your house is worth £750,000
yeah,
quid.
I know, but that's the problem. It's one of those where it's in the house, but we can't get at it. I've got 100 there.
I've got 65,000 there.
65?
I can put probably 35 into that.
So that makes 1,600. Another tenner.
Thank you.
Right, so where are we then?
So we're £135 adrift. My maths is right.
Check again.
That's
all right.
I think it is.
Obviously.
David goes to make a call to see whether he can raise the outstanding £135.
So my sister's going to lend me the money. Well, I'm glad we found it.
So we should be all done in a minute, Sandra, yeah? So I'm going to leave you a copy of the writ from the High Court. OK?
You might as well have.
Oh, don't be stupid, David.
We might as well have the 8p. Have like levels it all up.
With the help of David's sister, Mrs. Kanzi's debt is paid off in full.
Have you got any other jobs to go to?
Thankfully, that's it for the day.
We've worn you out.
Mercifully.
No, it's all right.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
David. Sure.
It's been a good result for the agents.
Lovely couple.
What's happening with the garage?
Needs a new door. It's on his list of things to do.
Typical example of being asset rich. Well, £750,000 house, but struggling to find a tenner.
Matt and Gary got the result they needed in an unexpected situation. But in Max and Paul's next case,
I really don't have any money to make payment.
a debtor in denial risks losing everything.
This can't be right.
It is, I'm afraid.
In the first quarter of 2017, nearly 300,000 county court judgments were issued against individuals in England and Wales. Rising by over a third from the previous year, they now stand at the highest level recorded in over a decade. High Court enforcement agents, Paul Bowhill and Max Caraher, are in Pinner, northwest London. They're here to collect a debt of almost £28,000 owed by a dentist in unpaid rent.
Paul, we're off to see Dr. Parag Patel and we're looking to collect £27,966.76.
18 months ago, Dr. Patel was struck off for malpractice and barred from working for 5 years. but he failed to settle the rent bill on his exclusive central London clinic.
He's a doctor. I have a feeling these are going to be really big houses. I think it's the next left down that private road. There, big property.
Dr. Patel's landlord took him to court and won. Now he must pay the £28,000 he owes today in cash or goods.
Well, they could all not be on finance.
I bet that 07 plate BM isn't. Hello, sir.
Hello?
Here to see Mr. Parag Patel.
This is my son, not here.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Whose property is this?
Family, my property.
Your
my
property?
other two sons' property.
Okay.
He has nothing to do here.
Certainly. Can I see the paperwork for who lives in this house?
Paperwork?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, you can come in. Come in and have a look.
I'll shut the door.
He has nothing to do here.
Despite the debtor's father's claims, this is the address on the writ, and the agents have the right to investigate whether he's telling the truth. Max immediately spots some paperwork.
Here we go. Parag Patel.
You cannot take without his permission.
I can, I'm afraid, sir.
This is not his room. Please, don't see this paper.
Here we go.
I'm telling you, we might have to take action.
The debtor's father is keen to remove the paperwork, but Max has already seen enough.
There's his mail here. There's his belongings here with his name on it. It's completely reasonable for us to assume that he resides here.
Is your son, Dr. Patel, in this country?
Yeah, he's in this country.
Is he coming home tonight?
Well, he make up.
It's clear that this is Dr. Patel's home.
This room is your son's room.
And the agents have the right to remove goods belonging to him, even in his absence. So Max turns his attention to the expensive cars parked outside and goes in search of keys.
None of the cars outside belongs to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Max looks in the silver BMW for evidence of who owns it.
Oh, bingo. That's a good bit of information right there.
The document is the letter sent to Dr. Parag Patel, informing him of the enforcement.
In the silver BMW, there's our money order.
Don't want you
This
to
is all
touch
about
any
our
of his
case.
paper.
Right,
No.
well, sir, this is all about the case that we're here for.
No!
So you need to sit down and...
I'm not going to do this.
The head of the family could take a real dislike to the enforcement agents. It's his family, it's his turf, and we're there. He is going to put up a barrier, and we are often going to be met with confrontation. That's just how it is and how it always will be.
With evidence to show that the silver BMW in the driveway belongs to Dr. Patel, Max clamps it. But then someone arrives at the house.
Hello, madam.
How did you enter the house?
Peaceful entry. You opened the door and I walked in.
I don't care. You walked in the house,
Yes, correct.
but the person whom you want
Yes.
is not here.
The woman is Dr. Patel's sister-in-law.
Madam, I've got a
This is my
high court
second
writ.
son's-
Is there any way you could get him on the phone for us?
I don't have his number.
You don't
Because
have his number?
He lives in this house
Yes.
mainly because of his. He is the son and he wants to keep him. That's why he's in this house.
The debtor's sister-in-law claims she's unable to get in touch with him. Paul heads outside to update the office. But then, suddenly, Dr. Patel arrives.
Hello, sir. You're,
need to get
you're
entry.
Mr. Patel.
Yes.
Here's my identification. You live here?
Well, I live with my father, yeah.
We've got a high court writ for you. You know what it's about. We found the court orders in a vehicle there. Are you in a position to make the payment?
I really don't have any money to make payment.
Is there anyone who can help you?
Not at this moment, no.
With that case, sir, I'm going to escalate this to the sale and disposal stage. Okay? The new balance is £30,750. and £37.56. We are now going to remove what assets we see fit to try and cover this debt.
Not my property.
Okay, you need to prove it.
I don't have to prove anything. I think I need to call the police. This is
So there's no need to swear.
Just deal with the car. Who does the silver BMW belong to?
My wife.
You need to prove it, or we'll take it.
How can I prove it?
Original bills of sale.
I'll see what I can find.
Dr. Patel and his sister-in-law go in search of documents to prove that the silver BMW doesn't belong to him.
Can this work?
No. This document is not proof of ownership. I can't submit that.
The tax reminder is addressed to Dr. Patel's wife, but it isn't proof that she owns the car. And with no other evidence to prove it isn't his, the agents can seize it today. But before they call recovery, Max wants to give Dr. Patel one last chance to pay.
What could you do on a monthly basis? What can you afford in your current position? Because I have to sell this to the claimant.
£100.
A couple of £100.
They won't accept that, but they would want a substantial down payment before they. So you're not earning sufficient money to make any payments towards this at all.
I've been struck up for a while now, so I put everything in there to keep it going.
Presumably you're living at the moment. You're earning
I'm
money.
living because of their hospitality. It was 110,000, and I put it down to 24 with borrowed and stuff like that. Right? So it's not that I haven't paid them.
People can be at the top of their game, and then things can change, and then debt can drag them down and change the way they live, change what their family thinks of them, and then the last thing they want is enforcement agents turning up.
With no decent offer of payment on the table, Paul calls for recovery.
Helen, can we arrange to come and pick this car up if we got indemnity for it, please?
While the agents wait, Mr. Patel's father seems keen to make amends.
He's listening nicely, but you are not, you know.
I'm listening, sir.
You are young and you've got black hair. Let it be white, and you will understand better than what he understands.
I will try, sir.
I'm sure about it.
I will try my best to. Hopefully, with age will come wisdom.
Thank you very much for at least listening.
Take care. Be lucky.
Okay, thank you very much. Wish you
sir.
good luck.
10 minutes later, the recovery vehicle arrives.
This can't be right.
It is, I'm afraid.
The car will now be stored for 14 days. If Dr. Patel can prove within that time that the car does in fact belong to his wife, it will be returned.
It's up to her to prove. It could be the original bill of sale to show that it was actually sold to her, not you.
If you get that, give me a call.
But if no proof is forthcoming, the car will be sold at auction and the agents will be back for the balance. Research has revealed that more than 50% of small business owners in the UK are under financial pressure. To keep their businesses afloat, nearly 1 in 5 resort to using personal savings, while a third have not made any provisions for their pensions. High Court enforcement agents Matt Highway and Gary Ball are in Weymouth, Dorset, to collect over £5,000 owed by a building company to a security firm.
Mr. Matthew Penwell, trading as JJP Build and Maintain South West Limited, and he owes £5,087.97.
The agents have been told by the claimant that he owns a working van, which could be seized if Mr. Penwell can't or won't pay today.
The defendant has a 2009 Volkswagen Transporter. Oh, there it is. Right outside the house.
It's a valuable asset. Gary takes immediate action and clamps the van. He hopes the prospect of losing it will prompt swift payment.
Okay. Big dog. Hello, sir. Could I speak to Matthew Penwell?
That's my son, yes.
Or somebody from JP Build or Maintains Southwest. You're a director of the company, are you?
I am, yes.
My name's Matthew Harris. I'm a High Court enforcement agent. Here with the High Court writ today. There's an outstanding balance of £5,087.97. So we're instructed to collect that balance or to seize goods to the value of. So the question is, can we get payment of this?
I'm sorry, the company is struggling financially. It's struggled for the last 6 months. Bills haven't been paid. After the last job I'd done for them, I didn't get payment in full for the work that was done.
Right.
Some of it's relating to another property. He's trying to take both the company and my elder son, who's a part of the director of the company, to court as well.
Yeah.
And it's left the business in a very bad position, to be honest.
As the debtor's father, Jeremy Penwell, is a director of the business, the agents can deal with him as well as his son.
Okay. Well, my accountant has been dealing with us on my matter. Some of the claim was incorrect.
Right.
So it was all a bit strange. He preferred it back to them, and to be honest, I haven't heard anything since.
Right.
But the appeal has yet to be heard in court, and the High Court writ is active today. With the debtor's father saying they can't pay, the agents need to look for other company assets. And with the van outside, Matt needs to investigate whether the company is trading from this address.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm in the property.
You don't have any choice, sir.
Well, there's nothing in here at JJP.
Okay, if there isn't, then it'll be up to the person in the property to prove to me that the items belong to them. Vehicle has been seized, and we'll organise removal of that.
No, I'm sorry, it's can't be, because it's
Okay.
like I say, it's in my name. That was advice from my accountant.
Mr. Penwell claims he's transferred ownership of the van from the company to himself personally. He calls his accountant.
High Court enforcement officers actually have turned up. They're looking to seize the van and goods to the value of £5,300. I just need some advice how to proceed in this situation. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you very much. Bye. I'm sorry, my accountant's in meetings.
Yeah, there isn't anything an accountant can do, Jeremy.
Even though the van's in my name, you're still adamant in taking it.
It's got the company written all up the side of the van. I'm more than happy that I would remove that as an asset of the company. Just to let you know, if we do have to go to what's called stage 3 of enforcement, it does add another £1,100 onto the debt. As much as it is our job, it's the last thing we want to do is be taking things away from people, but unfortunately, when the court's commanded it, that is what we have to do.
The van's worth more than that anyway.
We'll get an auction value on it. A lot of people don't realise, the High Court writ doesn't command me to go and collect the money. That isn't what the writ says. The High Court writ tells me to go and seize the goods of the defendant. So in other words, the court has already come to that end result that you're not going to pay because the county court have already asked you to pay and you haven't. So if payment's not forthcoming, we are there to seize goods.
Mr. Penwell hasn't provided any proof that the van isn't a company asset. It could be seized, but before they call recovery, Matt wants to give him another chance to pay.
Do you want to make any calls? Do you want us to,
I'm not sure what to do.
Give it a little bit of time? Well, I've told you there's 2 options in this case. You'll pay, or we'll take things away to cover the debt. I'd much rather he didn't go to taking stuff away, but unfortunately, that's in your hands. Make no mistake about it, items will go today.
Mr. Penwell now faces a stark choice. Find the cash or face losing what little he has. High Court enforcement agents Matt and Gary were in Weymouth to collect over £5,000 owed by a building company.
Could I speak to Matthew Penwell?
That's my son, yes.
The debtor's father and co-director of the company, Jeremy Penwell, seemed keen to keep his son out of the situation.
He's trying to take both the company and my elder son, who's a part of the director of the company, to court as well. Yeah. And it's left the business in a very bad position, to be honest.
He claimed he'd appealed the case.
My accountant has been dealing with this matter because some of the claim was incorrect.
But the High Court writ was active, so the agents seized his van.
You're still adamant in taking it.
It's got the company written all up the side of the van.
Now, the agents must try and get this case resolved, one way or another.
Can I get my mother and try and sort this out?
Is it to get the money to pay? Is that what it's for?
Partially, yes.
What's the other reason for it?
Well, she wants to come and speak to you.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, she wants to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, fine. We do obviously have to carry on our job in the meantime, unfortunately.
While Jeremy waits for his mother to arrive, the agents search the house for a home office which may contain company assets. But upstairs appears to be a normal family home.
And how old is he?
21.
This is Matthew that the claim is against?
He's named as a company director with myself. Yeah.
Okay, and does he have anything to do with the company at all?
Not really.
No.
No, not really.
No.
I tried to bring my son into the business, but he just wasn't, he's just not interested. He's still a full-time student at Lane College.
The reason for Jeremy's reluctance to involve his son becomes clear. It seems that despite his son's inactivity in the company, Jeremy failed to remove him from official company records.
What you've done, Jeremy, unfortunately, you've implicated him on a High Court writ. What you've also done, in the meantime, you've given a 21-year-old lad a CCJ against him.
I'm quite impressed that the guy went after my son when he knew the problem was between him and me. I've done work for him, and there's nothing substandard about the work I've done for him, and he's completely...
Right, but unfortunately there's been a court case, and the court case has been decided by the judge, hasn't it? Yeah, quite often we'll uncover, strange situations in the process of enforcing a writ. We just have to sort of deal with those as they come along. Sometimes you'll uncover all sorts of issues between other members of the family, but it's all part of the enforcement job.
A few minutes later, Jeremy's mother arrives.
Can you tell me exactly what is going on?
If you could tell me who you are, first of all.
I'm
yes.
Mrs. Penwell. I'm Jeremy's mother.
Jeremy's mother, of course, yeah. Is that okay, Jeremy?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, okay, so we're High Court enforcement agents, and we've been asked to attend the property today with a High Court writ.
Right.
To do with an amount of money that's been through the county court. A CCJ has been issued against Matthew, JJP Build and Maintain South West.
Are you able to tell me why he said we owed him?
I don't know. There isn't any notes on there to say that.
So what exactly... Excuse me.
Yeah.
So did you know about this court case on the 9th?
No.
You knew about this court case on the 9th, did you?
The 9th of May?
Yeah.
There was paperwork that came.
You haven't told me any of this.
Well, no, I haven't worried you with it because it was.
I wish at times you would.
It was so silly.
Well, we can't have your van taken, so I shall have to go and get this 5,000. That's the only what we can do.
To save her son's work van, Jeremy's mother offers to clear his debt.
So I've got to get £5,000 cash.
The outstanding balance
80-something.
is £5,087.97.
She heads off to the bank.
We see it all the time where defendants will hide their debt, hide their current situation from other family members, sometimes even their mum. They don't want to let on to other people that they're in the situation they're in. Who wants to admit that, it's all gone wrong and actually, I need you to bail me out, not being able to talk to somebody else and let them know there's a problem. It can lead to all sorts of trouble. And the end result of that, of course, is 2 High Court enforcement agents knocking your door.
Half an hour later, Jeremy's mother returns from the bank with a friend.
Can we have a receipt for the money,
Of course, yeah.
She's managed to raise the £5,000 her son owes in full. But then she spots the amount of the original county court judgment.
No. The original judgment that the claimant went to court for was £3,600.
Well, if we paid that, we wouldn't be paying 5 then.
No, you wouldn't, that's right.
Just going to get the clamp off, all right.
Copy of the writs there, Jeremy, and a receipt for the payment in full, all right? I know it's not a great circumstance, but I'm sorry, I can only be as gentle as I can be. Thank you, Jeremy. Take care.
With the debt paid in full, Gary unclamps the van and the case is resolved.
Mum was, absolutely livid. If this had been dealt with earlier, it could have been settled with £3,600. And instead, today she's paying over £5,000. But it is what it is. It's done. We've got the payment for the claimant. They'll be happy.
And there's new Can't Pay next Wednesday night at 9. Over on Comedy Central next, Joel Dommett joins the lineup for Chris Ramsey's Stand Up Central. Next here on Channel 5, Fritzl, What Happened Next?